Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is KPZ. You're here on the home of the slightly above average ship review. If you're new to my channel, my goal is to show you what an average player can expect to do in any given ship. Today we are in the Russian Tier 3 premium battleship, Knyaz Suvorov. I apologize if I am mispronouncing that. Alright, Knyaz Suvorov is available or was available from a package called Prince of the Seas in the Microsoft Store. That is how I acquired it. It may or may not have required subscribing to Gold or some other upscaled membership for Xbox Live. That I can't tell you because I don't remember. But what I can tell you, it's got a lovely black and gold camouflage scheme. And we'll talk more here really quickly about Knyaz Suvorov while we're waiting for the enemies to show up. It was one of 5 Borodino class pre-Dreadnought battleships, so shouldn't it be called Borodino? Completed after the beginning of the Russo-Japanese War, became the flagship of Vice Admiral Zinovy Rozhetvensky, commander of the 2nd Pacific Squadron. Knyaz Suvorov was eventually torpedoed and sunk by Japanese torpedo boats. Other than 20 wounded officers who were evacuated, there were no survivors. Speaking of no survivors, that enemy cruiser has no survivors. Dev Strike, First Blood, kill number 1. So like with all lower tier Russian battleships, you really want to focus your attempts on broadside cruisers starting out, because you will really make your money doing that. And of course, you've got a really strong armor profile. We're going to go over that in the port. Definitely want a bow tank if you can against enemy ships. We're going to see a little bit later on, I didn't really have the bow tanking positioning that I would have liked. All right, here I'm hoping my teammate in the cruiser will back off a little bit and give himself the chance to draw these guys out. Long story short, that is not going to happen. While we're watching him die, this ship is not loaded into WoW's builds, so into Wiki Wargaming Net to tell you max dispersion, 169 meters. I would venture to say that's pretty good. HE shell velocity, 762 meters per second. Same for the armor-piercing shells. The weight of the shells is identical. 470.9 kilos each for Knyaz Suvorov. Alright, so my teammate got killed despite me warning him to get back. He had no help. Here, Kuma gonna stick his nose out, and we're gonna punch him very hard. Another Citadel hit there. He should have been launching torpedoes right now. And so we're going to fire our rear turret and get another couple of Citadel hits. Another Dev Strike. Kill number 2. Alright, his buddy, another Kuma, is all alone over here. I don't know why he thought just hanging out right there was a good idea. Maybe he thought I couldn't shoot over the island here. I don't know what to say other than this is a mistake. Okay, here's our salvo, just 3 turrets, and sayonara means goodbye. 2 more hits to Citadel, kill number 3. Alright, we've got an enemy Gangoot advancing on our position. I am going to vacillate a little bit about what I want to do here. While we're doing that, let's talk about the turret layout. You got the AB turrets up front. You have kind of a wing turret in the middle of the ship, where they're kind of supposed to shoot to either side. And you've got a rear turret, but I will show you here in a minute, you can, in certain positions, get all 5 turrets on target. And so we may not be able to shoot all 5 turrets after I demonstrated that to you. But you are going to see you can get all 5 turrets on target in certain positions for the ship. At this point, I realize I'm not going to get any good shots at the Gangoot unless I stop going forward. So we are opening ourselves up to attack from the carrier. This battleship does have AA. It doesn't have a lot of AA. It isn't very good. It isn't very long-ranging. Don't count on it to save you. But that being said, you can't mount a plane on this ship. So you're just going to have to survive the best you can. And you can't even get air cover from a carrier at this level. So maybe if you're in a teammate and they've got a plane, you stick next to him. All right, here's the Gangoot sticking his nose out. As you can see, we did have 5 turrets there. We only need 4 to get another double hit to Citadel, another Dev Strike, and kill number 4 on the Gangoot. Alright, so we got 4 kills. We are officially on the hunt for a Kraken. Well, you know we're going to get one, folks. You know we're going to get one. Now, I'm looking at the mini-map. All the enemy ships are on the other side of the map, except for one, and that is the evil Sky Cancer platform. That's right, the carrier who is launching planes, who's been the bane of my existence. We are going to get a chance here to do every Battleship player's dream, and that is take fire out on the carrier that has been damaging your ship. Initially, I think he's more over in the corner based on the position of this plane. Later, I would realize that is not exactly true. So if you're not familiar with Russian battleships, generally characterized as having poor AA capabilities, not great torpedo belts, fantastic guns at medium to close range, kind of crappier long range aim. They have a special formula for dispersion that kicks in, I want to say, maybe at 12 kilometers away from the enemy. So you definitely want to try to get in that mid-range, 8 to 12K away from your enemy before lighting them up. They've got great shells and great guns. All right, speaking of great guns, there is the enemy carrier. It is a Langley. He should have been using torpedo planes against me. He didn't. There is another hit to Citadel. High caliber metal unlocked. Now the torpedoes come, but it's just a little bit too late. He's going to get torpedoed by our friendly carrier, and then we're just going to keep dinking and dunking away with these Russian guns till eventually he dies of selenium poisoning. And it's going to happen right as we get this reload. I'm totally ignoring his planes at this point, and the torpedoes they drop. There go the shots. And there is the Kraken Unleashed. Another hit to Citadel. Kill number 5. We are over 100,000 damage in Knyaz Suvorov. I think I have shown you, using geometric logic and slightly above average gameplay, that in the hands of a skilled Russian battleship driver, Knyaz Suvorov is Kraken capable. We are down tier in this match, ladies and gentlemen. Even the internet is trying to stop me. They are conspiring against me. Look at my computer, the internet speed. Oh, rubber banding really hard. Just imagine how even more slightly above average I could be if I had a good internet connection here in my northern command. But I don't. But that's totally okay, folks. You know why? It's these trying times that make us better players. All right. Let's see what's happening here. All right, ladies and gents, after some technical difficulties mid-video, we are back in the Knyaz Suvorov, just waiting for the enemy ships to show up here. We have a very limited main battery range, just 13.5 kilometers. So really, once they get inside of 11 kilometers, you should be tuning them up with these Russian guns and their dispersion formula. But that being said, here you're going to see me make mistakes. I was riding high. I'm like, it's a 5-kill game, Kraken, look how great I am. And I will admit there's a part here where I lose focus and I make some critical mistakes. So learn from my mistakes and don't do what I do. The biggest thing they talk about, especially in sports, is when you've got the enemy team on the ropes, you don't let up. And I'm going to mentally let up here thinking these people suck and I got it in the bag. All right, so here we're going to fire our first salvo at one of the remaining ships, the Koenig. As you can see, okay dispersion, but he's not totally broadside. And so that really didn't do a whole lot. He is turning to give us more of a profile. And I'm telling you right now, I should have focused my fire on this ship only, ignored the other ships until I took this guy out. And I did not do that. And I could feel myself losing focus as this match went on. And I don't know, maybe I was hungry. I don't know what to say. Here, another salvo at the Koenig, even though it kind of landed in the last third of the ship. We do unlock that Confederate medal. We did do a pretty good chunk of damage there. I should have kept shooting at the Koenig only and ignored all the other ships and just shot at the Koenig. But I didn't do that. I see that cruiser out there. I'm like, that's a soft target. You know, there's a Wyoming out there. Here we're going to shoot another salvo at the Koenig. And I just should have kept doing this. But I see this guy and I start thinking, oh, I can't give him my broadside, so I need to turn. So we're going to shoot our rear turret at the Wyoming, but I should have turned away to starboard, out, and kept focusing on the Koenig. And here, fatal mistake number one, I turned against my turrets. Now, I talk about not doing this all the time. My thought being, I don't want to give my broadside to the Wyoming, so I have to turn against my turrets. But at the end of the day, I do not kill the Koenig because the rest of my turrets have to turn all the way around. And that disheartened me. So here I'm thinking maybe I can kill pinch the Danae. No, I can't. He gets killed. So I write off the Koenig altogether and I go after the Wyoming. And just at the end of the day, I'm going to turn my ship too much and give up too much broadside. And the Wyoming driver knows what he's doing. He's going to go right through my side plating and citadel the crap out of me. And it's going to be the end. And it never should have happened. Right there, I thought, oh, I'm going to citadel him. He's going to be dead. No, he's going to citadel me. And I'm going to be dead. So that's that. It happened. It's my bad. I should have kept after the Koenig, finished him off, had a 6-kill game. But instead, I screwed up. What can I say? All right, give me a minute here while I cut the video to the end of the game. All right, thus endeth the match. Here on my favorite screen, the victory screen. Confederate medal, First Blood medal, 3 devastating strike medals, high caliber medal, and the Kraken Unleashed. We ended up with 139,662 total damage, 5 kills, 12 hits to Citadel. We got 236,189 silver and over 6,100 ship XP, over 6,400 commander XP in Knyaz Suvorov. And here we are at the top of the board, 7 medals, 5 big kills, 2236 base XP, down tier, dominating the enemy team, dominating my own team. I think we can all agree that Knyaz Suvorov is a very strong ship if you know how to play Russian battleships. All right, here in a minute, we will go back to the port while I cry about what could have been maybe a 7-kill game. Well, probably not. Probably a 6-kill game, let's be honest. All right, here in the port, take a look at the upgrades. You get 4 upgrade slots. We went with Aiming System Mod 1, Damage Control System Mod 2, Target Acquisition System Mod 1, don't have any other choices there, and Artillery Plotting Room Mod 2, one of the few Russian ships that can mount that mod. All right, here in the loadout, 5 charges of the short duration damage control party, 4 charges of the repair party, and 3 charges of the enhanced secondary targeting. You don't have any other options. Secondaries aren't very good in this ship. Don't count on that to do a lot. Type 9 permanent camo, and of course the VMF Day 21 flag. All right, taking a look at the specs, 37,900 hit points and a 17% torpedo damage reduction with our build. One of the weaknesses, weak to torpedoes, weak to destroyers. I'll just say that. Artillery, 5 twin 305mm turrets, 13.5 kilometer firing range. It looks like a 34-second reload, 33 1/3 second turn time. HE shells, 4,500 max damage, 33% fire chance, AP shells, 8,600 max damage. You have 14 120 millimeter secondaries, a really woeful 3.7 kilometer range, a really glacial 8.6 second reload time. The shells do 1,700 HE shell max damage with an 8% fire chance. So damage and fire chance is good, but I would not build into the secondaries under any circumstance. AA defense, well, A, at least you have some AA defense, but B, it's short range and doesn't do a lot of damage. But it's better than nothing. It's better than nothing. All right, moving on. Maneuverability, 22 knots, 650 meter turning circle, 9.7 second rudder shift time. And finally, concealment, somewhat of a bright spot. 11.6 on the surface, 9.7 from the air, 9.3 when firing from smoke. All right, going into the stats. We have played 6 games in Knyaz Suvorov, only won 2 of them. Main battery accuracy, just 37%. We have a really nice kill death ratio of 1.7, mostly because the last game was our best game, and all of those battle achievements you see probably came from the game you just watched. And what can I say? Kraken did a ton of damage, dominated, down tier. What more do you want? Anyway, it's a fun ship if you like Russian ships. Here, the armor viewer, see some things I do like. What I don't like is this above water citadel, which is why we got killed. We will put the bow on. As you can see, the bow is an armor plate, an armor belt. Upgraded up to 127, covering the entire bow. So do not be afraid to bow tank early and often in this ship. All right, torpedo belt isn't going to do a whole lot. Turrets and barbettes. The upper part of the barbette in the middle turrets, and that has more armor. The sides and the faces of the turrets have more armor. The faces are sloped. I like everything I see here about the turret armor at this tier. No complaints. Put the casemate armor back on, covers up that less armored part of the barbette. You do have an armor belt going up to 203 millimeters, it looks like. But again, it won't protect you against a perpendicular shot from another battleship, as you saw. And that is the armor profile of Knyaz Suvorov. All right, taking a look at the commander. He is fully maxed out for your pleasure. Mikhail Kedrov, 1 degree per second for his base trait when it's fully maxed out. Cunningham, maybe I should swap in Iachino here, and we got a fully maxed Paolo di Ravel for reload. So yeah, if I made a change, it would be a mod slot or Inspiration 1. Put Angelo Iachino in there and get Cunningham out. Row 1, we went with not the one for nuisance. Row 2, crisscross. Row 3, the unique Russian skill volunteer. 2 extra damage control charges, which you need in this ship. Row 4, master mechanic. 2 extra heals when you get that into the upper levels. Again, you need that. And we were running Will to Rebuild, which I recommend at tier 5 and below. 4 battleships. Anyway, that's Knyaz Suvorov. If you have a chance to pick up the Prince of the Seas, I recommend it, especially if you like Russian ships. A lot of fun to play this one. Certainly better than the Gangu because you get premium earnings. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe below. I'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching, everybody.